Hi, welcome back to All the Things with Margarita. Today I want to talk about something that I get a lot of questions about, and that's my pixie haircut. So I want to start by saying that for the last 20 years or so, I've worn my hair in some type of a shorter style. So now I'm wearing it in a pretty short pixie. I've had an A-line bob, I've had shoulder length bob, but for the last 20 years, it's always been some kind of short style. And one of the reasons for that is that I really find that short hair is something that's easy to style and it's easy to keep it looking polished. There's definitely a few things that you should consider if you're thinking about getting a pixie cut, especially if you wear your hair long today. So today I want to share those 10 things that, in my experience, I feel are important to consider before getting a pixie cut. And I'm going to be looking down at my notes, so bear with me. I want to make sure that I cover it all. The very first thing is maintenance. You will have to cut your hair more frequently. Now, this is going to depend on how fast your hair grows, but for me, I find that my short haircut looks the best if I get it cut every 4 to 5 weeks. Once I get past that 5th week, it just starts looking unruly and messy, but not in a good way. The next thing is styling. Styling with short hair is something that is not negotiable. And what I mean by that is in my life, when I've had longer hair, there were easy and quick ways that I could get out the door and not have to put a lot of effort in to style my hair, whether that was a messy bun or a claw clip. I'm a child of the 90s after all. Definitely, there were always ways to quickly get my hair up and out of my face or looking presentable, like if I had to go to work. With short hair, there is no bun and done or ponytail solution. You have to style it. And if you're like me, you'll wake up with bedhead and it won't really be cute without some kind of fluffing or texturing, doing something to your hair to actually make a style come together. The next thing that you'll have to consider is with a pixie cut, you will have to use styling products. And it doesn't mean you'll have to use a ton of styling products, but you'll probably want a variety of styling products so that depending on your hair type and the style, whether you want to wear it spiky or swooped or a little bit piecey, there are going to be different products that can help you get those looks and make them look intentional. Because with short hair, I think it's important that your style look intentional. So products, definitely things like hairspray, pastes, pomades, texturizing powders. Again, you don't need all of those things, but as you start to style your hair, you'll see what you like to and what you prefer to use to achieve the looks that you like. The next thing is tools. I typically have to blow dry my hair, and I'm pretty lucky. I consider myself pretty fortunate. My hair texture, I have fine hair and the texture is a little bit wavy, but with some blow drying, I can coax it into something that I think looks put together. Definitely a blow dryer for me is a must. A flat iron sometimes if I'm trying to get fancy. A curling iron when my hair is a little bit longer and I want to add in texture or wave. But definitely tools are something that you will want to consider. If you're not someone that likes to use a blow dryer or a flat iron or styling tools, a pixie cut may not be for you, or you may have to work with your stylist to get a pixie cut that can still look cute and put together without those hot tools. And again, depending on the type of hair that you have and your growth patterns, you can definitely style it different ways and with different tools. The next thing that you'll want to consider is, are you someone who likes to use hair accessories? If you're someone who likes to accessorize your outfits with a headband or a headscarf, or you like to wear a beret, or some bobby pins, you may not be able to use those accessories for your pixie cut the way that you use them with long hair. And so if you're someone who's really passionate about using hair accessories, you may have to work with your stylist to identify what type of a pixie cut you'll be able to use those accessories with. Additionally, in the accessories category, accessories that I think are important for me, especially when I'm wearing my hair as short as it is now, is definitely earrings. And you'll notice that today I'm wearing little stud earrings, but if I'm getting a little bit more dressed up, or if I've got an outfit that's a little bit more fun and flashy, I might use some hoop earrings or some dangle earrings. But definitely earrings bring that light and that little bit of polish to around your face, and I find that looks really nice with a pixie cut. The next thing that you'll want to consider is your hair texture and its growth patterns. I have several cowlicks in the back and across the top of my head. And so when I'm wearing my hair this short, I have to account for those, and I have to work with my stylist with the way that it's cut, but also with the way that I style it. So I have to be mindful of certain ways that I can part it where I'm going to be able to make those cowlicks work for me instead of having to work against them. Another thing with the way your hair grows, especially for me, I like to keep my pixie cut short, especially around and over the ear. And this is one of the reasons why I have to go in for haircuts more frequently, because as soon as that hair starts to get, over the ears, personally, I feel like that makes me look not as put together and not as polished, and that's not the way that I prefer to wear my hair. Also, I think you have to think about and consider that when you have a pixie cut, your hair is going to be away from your face sometimes. So even though, like right now I'm wearing mine, and a lot of the time I wear mine with a little bit longer bang and a little bit longer on the crown because I like volume and I like to be able to do like that swoopy bang. But definitely your hair is away from your face. When I had long hair, and as a teenager I did have very, very long hair, I would sometimes use that hair, bring it forward, and kind of use it a little bit as a shield or as a curtain and kind of a comfort. I remember that very vividly, feeling like it was a little bit like it was my safety. And when I started to wear my hair shorter, having to adjust to the fact that your face is out there. So there are things that before you might have been able to hide, or if you don't like your ears, for example, you're definitely going to see those if you are wearing a pixie cut style that's short and up over the ear like mine is. Again, you can't hide behind long hair because it isn't there. That's something to consider. How comfortable are you with having your face a little bit more exposed or having your hair away from your face? For me, personally, I found that having a pixie cut was a pretty simple or kind of easy transition for me, because even when my hair was longer, I typically pulled it back. So either a ponytail, a bun, a top knot, something up and away from my face. Now that I have a pixie, or for the long while I've had a pixie or some variation of shorter hair, I embraced that. It made me feel very comfortable because I tend to get a little bit warm, and so not having hair around my neck and my face is very comfortable for me. It makes me feel more comfortable having that hair away from my face. One thing to consider is You may want to change the way that you do your makeup when you get a different haircut, or especially a pixie cut or a shorter cut. So I don't wear makeup every day, but when I do, I definitely feel that it brings a little bit more polish to my look, to my appearance, even if it's just a little bit of makeup, a little bit on the eyes, a little bit of color on the face, a little bit of color on the lips. But I feel that when, especially when my hair is as short as it is now, a little bit of makeup makes me feel more put together. So that is something to consider, that if you've always kind of used your long hair as your most forward accessory, if we can call it that, you may need to change that routine a little bit and build time into your routine for that. And then also, a thing to consider with a pixie cut and before you get a pixie cut is you may experience less variety with the types of hairstyles that you can do. And I'm going to stop for a moment and just clarify what I mean. So definitely you can switch up your part, and like for me, sometimes I wear my pixie a little bit more sleek, sometimes I wear it with a bit more volume. Again, going back to those products that I talked about at the beginning, if you put in more products in your hair, or certain products that are meant to texturize or to add dimension, you can totally change the look, but it's still going to be a short haircut. The reason I say that is when you have longer hair, there's this feeling, and I can only speak from my personal experience. When I had longer hair, I had this feeling that I could create different looks and that they were dramatically different from one day to the next, depending on if I curled it or wore it straight, or if I put it up, or if I wore it half up or half down, or put accessories in it. That versatility and that dramatic difference in styles, you're not going to have with a pixie cut. Typically, there might be 3 or 4 ways that you can style your hair. And again, changing the part, changing the texture, but essentially it's still going to be a pixie cut. If you're a bit of a hair chameleon and you love to have dramatically different looks from day to day, you're going to lose a little bit of that flexibility when you go to a shorter haircut, especially a pixie. And then the last thing that I would say is important to think about and to consider before you go in for a pixie cut is, what's your confidence level? And your confidence level around your appearance. And what if the haircut doesn't turn out the way that you want? How confident are you that you'll be able to weather that grow out period? And be honest with yourself. I remember back when I was much younger and I used to wear my hair long and flowy, the idea of having a pixie cut and having shaved sides, or a shaved back, was totally like, I could never imagine myself with that look, right? And so if that's you and that's where you are, talk with your stylist. Make sure that you find someone that you trust, that you're comfortable with, that you can ask questions, and someone who has the heart of a teacher when it comes to helping you understand how to maximize the haircut and the style of your hair. And you have to be honest with them when you go in for a haircut. How much effort are you willing to put in to styling your hair every day? If you're someone who's in a stage of life that doesn't have time to dedicate to styling your hair every morning, and you need to rely on some simpler ways like a ponytail, a bun, a top knot, it might not be a good time to try a pixie cut. Thank you so much for letting me share a few things to consider before you decide to try a pixie cut hairstyle. If you have questions for someone who's worn their hair in this style for a long time, please let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to hear from you. And I did want to close the video on just one thing. When I mentioned confidence, I've had to live through some haircuts that didn't go as planned. And for what it's worth, I'm here to tell you that it's completely survivable. It might take a little bit, it might teach you new things about yourself, but definitely it is not insurmountable. And it actually can be fun because you start to learn about your own resilience and you learn a little bit about your own sense of humor. I'm not trying to talk anybody out of getting a pixie, just giving you some food for thought before you make that decision. Thank you again for watching. Take care and see you next time. Bye-bye.